Update. Am I the a-hole for threatening to take legal action against my ex-wife's stepdaughter if she doesn't pay for the gift she broke? Original post. I, male 38, have been separated from my ex-wife for almost 14 years. She's married now and has 2 stepdaughters, and this one involved the older one, Anna, 17 I think. Our older daughter, Diane, female 16, is really into calligraphy. My parents gave her a Japanese calligraphy brush as a gift for having a great school year. We came back from a trip and left them with her mother. I was just getting home when my youngest called me to return. Once there, they were having an argument and my ex-wife and her wife were trying to mediate. Diane said that Anna stole her brush and broke it. Anna says she took it with permission from Diane, which is a lie, and we checked, and she accepted breaking it, but replaced it with another one, a cheap one. My ex-wife and her wife claimed that it was not a big deal and Anna replaced it. I disagree, and told them that either Anna or them have to order a new one or give them money for us to do it. They were willing to do it, until Diane told them how much it would cost, $3,000. That's when they flipped the lid and said why I'm buying something that expensive. I told them it's none of their business or the point. Besides, it was a gift from my parents, not mine. They refused and said they can't do it without taking a hit in their finances. I told them that I don't care, and they need to pay for it or I would take legal action against Anna since she admitted to taking it and breaking it. I told them to be quick because the brushes are limited. Our daughters decided to come with me and took their important things with them. Now my ex-wife, her parents and her wife are blasting my phone saying I would ruin Anna's future, and that I'm putting our daughters against them and ruining their relationship. We've been co-parenting really well, but I don't know. I think I'm being reasonable. She's not a kid anymore. Now for the top comments before reading the update. They wouldn't be shocked if it was a high-end tablet, would they? Just because they don't value the value of the item doesn't mean it doesn't have a value. Good luck getting the value back. Not stay whole. She didn't lend her the brush. Anna said that but isn't true. It's funny how she lies about asking/borrowing it, as if that will undo all the mess she got herself into. The pen could be worth $1. It could be worth $1 million. She's gonna have to suck it up and pay for her mistake regardless. If I steal a car off the Enterprise lot and total it, I'm liable for the damages, not to mention the consequences of any crimes I committed in obtaining the car. If I legally rent the car and total it, and guess what? I'm still liable for the damages. Not stay home. Anna is 17, not 7, almost an adult. She's old enough to know that she doesn't take something that doesn't belong to her. By the way, I believe a limited edition brush can cost $3,000. Like we see Balenciaga charging $1,800 for a trash bag, lol. Doesn't matter what the cost is. Legally, a person is responsible for replacement cost. If it costs $18,000 to replace a trash bag, and people have a problem with that, then they shouldn't mess with $18,000 trash bags. Kinda simple. And now for the update. I never thought this would get so much attention. I'm still going through the comments, but I'm going to clarify a few points and give you an update. Why Diane brought the brush to her mother's. She has a neighbor friend whose hobby is painting. Diane's friend has a nice brush collection, and she took it to show it to her. Why did she leave the brush at her mother's? She stays a week with her mother. She has left other valuable things, either sentimental or monetary, and nothing has happened. Until now. Why I allowed her to move it around? It has to do with how my parents raised me. You are the one in charge of your stuff, no one else. You're the one who puts the value in them. That's why I have always let my daughters do as they want with their things, the same way my parents taught my siblings and I. She understands this kind of brush is not something to just play with. She agrees that she was careless as she wasn't planning to use it, but to start her own collection, the same way her friend and I do. I can't blame her though. She was comfortable with them and there was no precedent. The relationship with her step-family. They're not close but they're civil. They never clicked, but they agreed to respect each other and their things. How we find out Anna lied? Simple. When she said she got permission via text, I asked her to show us and my ex and her mother asked for her phone. She could have lied but folded. She said she took it and broke it but didn't say why. The price. My ex knew the price but not her wife. Both knew it was a gift from my parents. My ex-wife decided to play dumb because she didn't tell her wife about the price. For the doubters, I understand because not many are interested in handwriting or calligraphy. Brushes and pens can cost hundreds or even thousands because they are made with limited or rare materials by a craftsman with decades of experience. It is an art itself. You can Google it if you can/want. The brush. I need to talk to my parents if they still have the receipt, so I can contact the manufacturers and see what can be done. My hopes are slim to none. To say the brush is broken is to put it mildly. It has basically to be remade. Now for what transpired yesterday. We returned home and we talked after they calmed down. I asked them if I was missing something or if something changed, etc. They said everything was pretty much the same, but Diane and Lily said they might know the reason why Anna did it. During the week they stayed with her mother. Anna said to all of them that her boyfriend's birthday was coming up, and she wanted to gift him something special. She asked my youngest, let's call her Lily, if she could play the guitar while she sang a song to him, and Lily refused. Lily says that Anna took it well and didn't make a big deal. Then 2 days before I picked them up, Anna asked Diane if she could make a big poster, and Diane refused. But unlike Lily, she offered her to do something small. Diane says that Anna declined her offer and didn't make a big deal. Why they refused? The boyfriend's birthday was when they were going to be on a trip with me, last week, and both told Anna about it. I asked them if they knew about the finances of her mother. They said she's still working, and also her wife, so definitely not struggling. That's why both of them are mad at her mother because she or her wife could have paid for the brush. They don't understand why she acted like that. Knowing this, I asked her what she wanted to do. She listened to my threat, and I told her I mean it. I was going to buy the brush and force them to pay me back. She asked me to wait and see what they do in the next days. Now for what happened today. I received 2 calls early in the morning, one from ex-wife and the other from Anna's father asking to meet. The father came first. He said his youngest daughter called him and told him what happened. Him and I talked for a little bit, and by the looks of it, there are bigger issues. The man apologized to Diane for Anna's behavior and paid for the brush. The rest came after. Anna apologized first and said why she did it. She took the brush instead of another out of revenge. She tried to use it to do the poster for her boyfriend, and because she's not as good as her, she destroyed it in a fit of rage. Once calm, she saw her mistake and looked for another one online. She saw how much it cost and decided to buy a cheap one. She never told anyone what she did until Diane returned. Anna's mother apologized to Diane and also to Lily. They both left after that. My wife remained. She apologized to Diane and Lily and said she acted the way she did because this could kill the little to none relationship they have as sisters. But the result was worse and she regrets it. Diane and Lily told her that everything could be fine if they paid for the brush and apologized right then and there. She could have ended with 1 upset daughter. She has now 3. They said that now they don't feel secure there and have no plans to return. My ex-wife said she was going to do anything to solve it and proposed family therapy again, but both of them refused. They said that they could meet somewhere else, but at least not for now. They left us alone. We talked mostly about logistics and a few things I wanted to confirm. Lastly, I talked with my daughters again and both still are pretty upset. The relationship with her mother took a major hit and they're not happy with how it was resolved, and neither do I. We're going to see my parents in the upcoming days. Diane wants to talk with them about the money before buying another brush. Thank you for taking your time. I tried to cover as much as I could, but I will try to answer if you have questions. She could have ended with 1 upset daughter and now she has 3. Harsh, but true. Taking others' stuff and breaking it and buying a cheap one to replace it. Wow, parents tries to correct mistakes. But Opie's ex-wife was a terrible mother. You are not entitled to others' stuffs. To be fairly fair, if my son made a $3,000 oopsie, I'd be looking for financial compromise myself. Even to someone well off, that's a freaking huge chunk of money. That's my entire savings. She said she acted the way she did because this could end the little to non-relationship they have as sisters. Yes, because the one thing everyone knows about siblings/step-siblings is that showing obvious favoritism to one of them by not punishing them for breaking another one's extremely expensive possessions is guaranteed to make everyone get along better. Ex-wife can't even give an honest apology. She acted the way she did because she chose her wife and stepdaughter over her own daughter. It had nothing to do with preserving their sisterly bond. It was all about preserving her own bond with a new wife. Yep, I'm thinking this is not the first incident. The way it feels is that this was the straw that broke the camel's back for the 2 daughters. I don't care if it's a $20 brush. You don't mess with someone else's brushes. I'm not into calligraphy. I'm not even a real painter. I paint Warhammer miniatures, which is basically 3D coloring. But I don't really let anyone else use my brushes, and I wouldn't feel comfortable using anyone else's. The ex-wife definitely messed up, but a 17-year-old should know better. It is so easy to ruin a brush even without having a fit of rage. Whether it's getting pains in the ferrule or just improperly cleaning. The higher the quality of the brush, the more you have to take care of it. Next story. Am I the a-hole for calling my brother an inconsiderate, insecure, pompous prick? My brother and I are not very close. I can tolerate him if need be, but I think he struggles in many social situations. He can't seem to read basic social cues and makes many inappropriate comments and jokes. He has strong opinions about everything, jumps to unreasonable conclusions, and never lets things go. My wife and his wife have been friends for years. My wife doesn't like my brother much, but she's very polite and courteous towards him for the sake of my sister-in-law. My wife and I lost our 3-year-old son about a year ago. His death was sudden, and there is not a day that goes by where I don't grieve him. There will never come a day, hour, minute, or second that I'll stop loving or thinking about my son. In my family, talking about a dead child makes people uncomfortable and is almost treated as taboo. I'm not too fond of this culture, and I have been candid about going to therapy, counseling sessions, support groups, etc. My wife and I started going to marriage therapy after the loss of our son. My family believes that we are going to couples counseling because our marriage is failing or my wife isn't satisfying me enough. This could not be further from the truth, and I think it's a bit disgusting and ridiculous. My sister-in-law invited my wife and I for a nice dinner at their place to celebrate my wife's birthday. Most of my family would be there, and she promised us no drama and or unnecessary comments. We got there and it was nice at first. Everyone was being respectful and I was having fun. Near the end, a few people gave my wife small gifts. We were planning to open them at home and react privately, but my brother was very adamant about seeing my wife's reaction to his gift. He was so sure that he had the best gift and wanted my wife to open his gift in front of everyone. Nothing could have prepared me for his present. He gave her a baby's romper meant for a newborn boy and an expensive set of lingerie. I was so shocked. When she looked at him, he laughed and said it was to motivate her to bring his spark back into the marriage. Everyone was speechless until my wife politely thanked everyone for coming and then left, leaving my brother's gift. I told my brother that the gift was wrong and incredibly inappropriate. He started to get defensive and very aggressive, so in anger, I called him an inconsiderate, insecure, pompous prick. My sister-in-law, as well as few other family members, told me that even if the gift was in bad taste, I shouldn't have called him names and provoked him. I may be the a-hole for the unnecessary name-calling. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. The names you called your brother were the perfect description of his personality. Cut off any personal contact with him until he apologizes to your wife. I am truly sorry for your loss. For my own peace of mind, I won't be speaking to him for a long time. I think that is the best choice. And don't be afraid to do the same to other family members who enable his horrible behavior. You and your wife have my sympathy. What you're going through is beyond awful, and I hope the future brings some peace and comfort for you both. What you said to your brother was absolutely correct. Strange that he can do as he wishes, and that's fine. But you're reacting as provoking him? Did he not provoke you and your wife with the cruel, tasteless jokes of his gifts? Either one alone would be foul and wildly inappropriate, but together, the two gifts are beyond a pale. I might be choosy about spending time with him at all in the future, especially if your wife is there if I were you. Not the a-hole, but your brother and anyone who defends his disgusting behavior definitely are. One note, it sounds from the way that you describe him that your brother could be neurodivergent. That's no freaking excuse. Plenty of people struggle with social cues, but they still have the sense to learn from experience how to not hurt people. What he did was hurtful, not funny or clever or cool. Agree that is probably on the spectrum, but that was just cruel. Not the a-hole. You were incredibly tame in your response. I would have read him to filth, drag queen style. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for buying my granddaughter more expensive gifts than my grandson? I have many grandchildren, but this is about the oldest ones. Jake 18 and Maya 18. They're cousins, not siblings. 18th birthdays are very important in our family. So for Jake's 18th birthday, I told him I will buy him whatever he wants. As long as it's reasonable, of course. He told me he needs a new phone, so I bought one for him which costed me around $1,000. I encouraged him to choose other gifts as well, but he said it's enough. For Maya's 18th birthday, I did the same thing, and told her to choose whatever she wants. She gave me a list of the things that she wanted and it costed me about $7,000. I was a bit unsure whether I should buy them or not, but decided that it would be unfair if I don't buy it because Jake had the same offer and he chose not to get anything else. Jake's father, my son, was very angry at Maya's birthday. He said I'm showing favoritism. I tried to explain to him that I'm not because Jake had the same offer. His argument was that I raised Maya. Her parents worked a lot and I was basically her babysitter. While I didn't have as much contact with Jake, his mom was a stay-at-home mom. So naturally, Maya would be closer to me and it would be easier for her to ask me for things. You're the a-hole. While you gave them a choice, which is nice, you should have decided that each one of them would get an equal value of gifts. If you spent $1,000 on one, that should have been a cap for the other. No one told you you had to buy all the gifts on Maya's list. You made that choice. Or do what my grandma does and give the cash value to even it out. Sure, I mean, whatever they would want to do is up to them. Ultimately, it should be equal. You're the a-hole for not capping the offer. I mean, really? Who asks for $7,000 worth of birthday items and actually gets them? When I tell my two kids to pick stuff, one will be polite and the other will shoot for the moon. If the ambitious one gets everything she asks for, the polite one will get upset because she didn't realize asking for so much was even an option. It's not the polite one's fault, and she's not wrong for being upset. As a parent, I either have to set a limit and treat them equally, or let the ambitious one pick first so the polite one realizes the upper limit is higher than she thought. I would never want the polite kid to feel shortchanged because she didn't realize she could ask for more.